folks. Welcome to Break the Chains News and Info. My name is Corey, and as with me always is the one, the great Greg.
How's everybody doing?
We are doing good, Greg. Thank you. So we got some interesting little pieces of tidbits for you all tonight, and we're talking about tonight fake news. And that's a very broad subject.
I'm tired of hearing the fucking phrase.
I'm tired too, man. I'm pissed off and
fake
tired.
News.
It's all fake news. You guys do me in a very
do you in a very uncomfortable spot?
Uncomfortable spot, a very uncomfortable light, and you guys do me very wrong. This is not professional journalism in the slightest. No. It's true, though. It's true. There's a lot of media that's got a lot of personal bias. There's got a lot of backing. There's got a lot of personal reasons. On both sides, for sure. But we can't. I feel that there's a strong outlier. There's a few outliers that are just kind of promoting an agenda rather than promoting professional journalism, and that's the one thing that's going to hold us to the real meat of the matter is that who's doing investigative journalism and who's doing professional journalism versus the ones who's just doing it for the ratings. You know, for example, we got last week, 2 weeks ago, we had Megyn Kelly interviewing a one man named Alex Jones for a hit piece / investigative journalism / I'm not sure what, because guess what? Her ratings tanked week after week after she released this because people are sick of being subjected to biased opinions.
Of course. I mean, when you're telling people over and over, don't look at this, this is right, this is wrong, that was never the job of journalists. Journalists were there to write the story, and wherever that story took them is where the story took them because it's the story. Now it seems like they're writing their own story. It seems like they are saying, oh, well, this is the outcome that we want. How can we make it come to this outcome, whether it's cut clips, whether it's, just omitting certain points of the story to change it into what they need it to be. And that's never what journalists did. Journalists back in the day, they didn't know where the story was going to go, but they knew that the story was interesting, so they started it, and it took them where it took them, and sometimes it was where they wanted to go, or an ending that they expected, or it was just out of the realms of crazy story. They didn't know where it was going. Now I feel like the script is already written before the story is even done.
Exactly, it's already been written. It's already been there. You have this. This is the window we're looking at, and this is what you're going to look through until we tell you otherwise. And that's the problem with the current news and the days of mainstream media, whether it be Fox, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, all these numbered, lettered groups. It's disgusting the way that they promote themselves in such a negative. They don't promote themselves in a negative light, but we catch them red-handed. I mean, this went back. For example, CNN back during the Gulf War, they had a mock. I can't figure out the two journalists that were there, but they basically were supposedly reporting live in the Gulf, and they were air raids, and the sirens went off, and they started putting on masks and helmets and all this. And you could look it up on YouTube if you want to, but these guys were basically standing there in front of a green screen promoting this war is among us. War is right here, right now. We're in the firefight. When in reality, these dudes didn't even know their hand from their fist, trying to fucking figure out what's going on, because one had a helmet on, the other one had a gas mask on. Obviously, one of them's going to die if it's a gas explosion. Give me a fucking break, guys. But I have a little game for you to play. You ready to play, Greg?
Oh shit! I didn't study.
I know it's not really a need for.
I'm not good at games.
But I remember the game when you were a kid. Yes. It's Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah,
we're gonna play a little game.
I play it with the whores on Tinder.
Yeah, all of them, huh? All of them. I call it lobster trapping. I swipe right for everyone. I throw out the skinny ones and I keep the fat ones. That's what I do here. So besides my lobster trap, I love me some seafood.
God,
I'll tell you
amazing.
what, love me some seafood.
Holy
but
shit!
So 2 truths and a lie. We're going to play a little game.
All right.
It's not 2 truths and a lie. It's more like 3 truths and a lie.
Okay.
But I got 4 articles for you to kind of discern between which one you think is fake news. And all you listeners, you guys can play along too. It's a fun game. So the first one I have is something that kind of came up recently, but the title on the website is Kid Rock confirms his Senate campaign website. What do you think about that one, Greg?
I may have actually heard something about this, so I don't know.
What do you think? Whether you heard about it or not, what do you think?
Kid Rock, I don't know. He might be good for the country.
You think he's smart enough? I mean,
well, in the military, he did one of the USO shows.
He's actually been doing a lot. He's always done a lot.
Yeah,
always done a lot.
And I was in the military from 2001 to 2005. So it give you an idea how long he's been doing it. So I think he actually cares about the country. If it's true,
yeah,
I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't think it'll happen, but once again, we said
worth
that about
a shot,
Trump.
Man. He's got money. It's worth a shot, right? All right.
Yeah, all right.
We'll disclose who's winning and who's losing at
the
end.
Go ahead.
Second one is going to be Catholics to rally in prayer against first satanic monument on public land in U.S. history.
Holy shit!
It's a pretty beautiful satanic statue, if I do say so myself.
Huh? Were they going to fight it with prayer?
That's literally what they're doing. Actually, they're bringing together on July 15th, tomorrow. They're actually going to be doing a Rosary Rally pray against Satan.
Huh.
So, what do you think?
So if anybody's free that day, there's going to be a rousing time.
Go ahead and pray.
Wow, that is going to be that's going to be fun. All right, next one.
The next one is going to be. Let's pull it up here. It's on my phone. Nice fancy phone. Donald Trump's nuclear uncle. Supposedly, in September 1936, a reporter of the Associated Press was associated with Donald Trump's uncle, which was an MIT teacher or MIT graduate, that received all of Nikola Tesla's dead and decaying. Once he deceased, this MIT professor got all of Nikola Tesla's information. So the headline is Donald Trump's nuclear uncle, meaning that he's got some explosive material on some future tech.
I don't know. Anything with Donald Trump, I question.
You have to hold your breath a little bit until you read into it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
All right. Next one is going to be a pretty little page I like to call My Phone is Slow.
Huh.
No, it's just this ad that's popped up. The last one is American Jewish Trump supporter in Israel challenged Linda Sarsour to a debate.
Huh.
You know who Linda Sarsour is?
No.
Linda Sarsour is a fantastically beautiful Islamic woman who is promoting feminism, Islamicism.
Yes, I do know who you're talking about. She had just not too long ago, she had a YouTube video that went viral.
Yeah, she called for a jihad against Trump. And if anybody's familiar with what jihad is, it's not a stand outside and peacefully protest.
The way they tried to frame that was fucking ridiculous.
Of course, right?
Jihad is a holy war. We know
yes.
that, and they're trying to say, it's not a holy war. It's a deep understanding.
It's a deep understanding. You don't understand the ways of Muslim, or actually Muslim. It's always funny when you talk to someone about when they start talking about their culture and their heritage, they always pull up their accents and their lingos and their dialects. So like when even for example, when I'm working, someone orders the fajitas and they're from Guatemala.
Fajita.
Can I have the fajitas?
Fajitas?
Por favor.
Please.
Yes, with a side of guacamole.
Shh, I've been smoking pot. I'm really hungry.
I'm sorry.
All right, so that's our 4 stories.
Yeah, 4 stories. So which one do you think? Or start from the top.
Okay.
Which one do you think are real, and which ones do you think are thrown?
All right, so let's go with the Kid Rock. I believe I heard this, and I believe it was from a credible source. So I'm going to say that one is true.
Okay, you are right.
Yes. All right.
You are right.
Like I said before, I think it would be a good thing. I think it really would we need somebody other than politicians. But is Kid Rock the one? I don't know. Yeah. Hard to say. All right, so what was the second one now?
The second one was the Satanic Church, or the Satanic Monument in the church. It's on public lands, a satanic statue on public lands.
I really want to say that one's false, but just so many people fight with prayer that I think it's just dumb enough to be true. I'm going to say true.
Ding, 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 ding. You are winning so far, 2-0. 2-0.
Alrighty. So now I know that we've got two left. One is fake, one is not. So we're gonna the Israeli Trump supporter challenges the woman to a debate, or Trump is nuclear uncle.
Yes.
So I mean, both of them sound fucking crazy. I mean, it's true. I mean, what is a woman in Israel? Why do we have Trump supporters in Israel?
I'm not sure.
They can't vote.
Maybe they don't have enough money to fly back to the U.S.
Is it like when a Patriot fan moves out of Massachusetts, it's just wherever they land. That's
right.
their
Right.
I'm gonna go with the Trump story, the nuclear uncle being the fake news. And before you tell me, there's a couple of reasons why. First off, there's a bunch of red flags with this, and when I see fake news, oh god, I can't believe I'm saying that. When I see fake news, it's usually they try to put a lot of statistics. They try to make it sound smarter than it is. They brought up Tesla. Mm-hmm. They brought up all this. I just feel like I feel like it belongs on the Weekly World News, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's National Enquirer headline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And nothing to bash National Enquirer. They do a good job doing
and
what
a couple of times National Enquirer has been right. And it's like, oh, fuck.
You never know. However, according to my research and what I've come to gather, we're looking at Donald Trump's nuclear uncle is fake news.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's as much as you wish that Donald Trump got into the White House because of the fact that he had dirt on a free energy source that could free the nation of all this petrodollar and all the corrupt garbage that we're dealing with right now. It is not a viable outcome.
No.
And Donald Trump has not had much ties, I mean, as far as I know, with antiquated forms of political gains and industrial means.
Yeah. I don't think he's smart enough to tie his shoes half the time.
No, that's why.
Much less somebody.
That's why he's got his secretary,
his nuclear uncle,
his nuclear uncle, right? No,
and usually, and the other big red flag is it was about Trump, and that's what we're seeing nowadays, which is fucking sad. I mean, if you want to make up a fucking story, make up a fucking story. Just pick better subjects. It's tiring anymore. I'm tired of it.
Or fantastically layer it with like a nice helping of satire and commentary.
Yeah, make people realize, we're saying this because we don't like the guy and it's funny.
By the way, this is somewhat of a joke because you can say all these brilliant things like pulling up all your things that you're talking about, science and numbers and stats, but it doesn't hold water.
Well, it's like to kind of bring out an older subject, but when Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code, people thought that shit was real.
Sure.
Because what he did is what they're doing now with journalism. They take a little bit of fact and sprinkle in the fiction seamlessly so that people can't decipher, well, Donald Trump does exist. He is the president. Is he killing babies?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're doing the same way Dan Brown did. But the difference between Dan Brown and the news media is he was honest and said this is a work of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Now those places exist. Some of the history exists that he uses.
Sure.
But ultimately, it's fiction because when you bring in that fiction, it turns it from real to nothing.
Given that, and we're sitting here now. Every day we're feeling like we're talking about very reminiscent of when H.G. Wells got on the radio and started talking about the War of the Worlds. When he started reading his book, War of the Worlds, on radio, and he says, aliens are coming, the cities are burning, people went into a panic.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
They got all their information from the radio.
Yes.
H.G. Wells is a fiction author writer.
Correct.
But he used the radio to promote what he was doing.
Correct.
How are we doing that now? We're doing that now with mainstream media, with propaganda,
Absolutely.
with political advertising, with political agendas. And I'm sick of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want unfiltered truth, non-biased, non-GMO orchestrated garbage.
Yeah.
Because I want the truth for everybody. And if you want the truth as much as I want the truth, you come into my website. You check me out, www.breakthechainsart.com. I got my podcast there. I've got a bunch of cool pins and art and all the fun things you can check out there to help support me and what I do. In the meanwhile, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, BTC Art Design, BTC_Art Design. And you can find me there. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. Greg, you're gonna be there with me side by side. We're gonna fight through this just like every other day.
We promise it will all be okay.
Yep, it'll all be okay, guys. Don't worry. The truth is out there.
America.